Well, you guys asked for it, and here it is. A detailed list of pros and cons of each weapon category in CS2. So I would say let's jump right into the video. Everything will have a timestamp down below. But as always, guys, don't forget about a giveaway in the description below and on Discord. And now a quick word from our sponsor. This video is sponsored by SkinBaron, the ultimate marketplace for buying and selling your CS skins. SkinBaron is a German company with an excellent Trustpilot rating, trusted by thousands of players. Save up to 30% compared to the Steam market. With over 1 billion skins and easy to use filters, finding your perfect skin is a breeze. They offer multiple payment methods including credit card, Klarna and even more. And if you're selling a skin worth over 1,000 euros, you'll only pay 2% fees on it. Use my code Shifterz to support the channel and start your SkinBaron journey today. Thank you, SkinBaron, and now back to the video. So just like each CS game, we're going to start off with the pistols. Depending on when you're watching this, I will also have for each category the tutorials down below. However, pistols are the essential part of every loadout. They're always the ones you can fall back to if you run out of ammo. And look, pistols are obviously low cost. They're ideal for eco rounds, and just like we were told in MW2 in the training scene, switching to your pistol is sometimes faster than reloading. And you know what's also fast? The movement speed with the pistols. There's a reason why a lot of people buy some upgraded pistols and do a rush onto a site and try to overwhelm the defenders. And the last pro thing about the pistols, some pistols have the potential to do a one-shot kill and basically destroy a complete loadout from the opposing team. And for example, only spending $700 to destroy a complete loadout of an M4, Kevlar and head armor and a full belt of utility, that hurts. But look, there's a reason why they're secondary pistols and not your main guns. And that is because they have a low magazine size, most of them, and if you're not hitting the head, it's going to be low damage output, especially against armors. And obviously they require precision. There is little margin of error when you're trying to shoot an enemy with a pistol, and if you're not really able to hit the enemy in the head, you're most likely going to die against their rifle. And that is why, as I said, the best time to use a pistol is either during an eco round or when you really have to switch to it if you run out of ammo on your primary. And if you want to win gunfights, either overwhelm the enemy with multiple people at once so they don't know which one to aim at, or hold out for a push from the enemy team so you can one-shot them in the head. But obviously don't run out and actively try to fight the gunfight over longer distances, because most likely you're going to lose that fight. Now, moving on to the SMGs. And the SMGs feel more powerful in CS2 than in CSGO. And that is just because aggressive playstyles feel more rewarding than before. And that is all thanks to their high fire rate, which is perfect for close range engagements, and combine that with good mobility, jumping around corners. This gun is perfect for those economy buys, and especially because of the $600 reward that you get for killing an enemy, except the P90, this category is just right for the aggressive playstyle. However, the SMGs have some weaknesses, obviously, and that is the weak armor penetration. A lot of you will have died to a rifle where you showed that you did 96 or something like that in 6, meaning the enemy takes an average of 7 body shots to kill, and that is just frustrating. And because of the high fire rate and close range engagement tactic, it is obviously a very poor choice at long range due to the high fire rate and the spread. And combine that all with a poor armor penetration, you should really avoid those long range engagements. And as you have already been able to hear out of what I was saying, these guns are perfect to aggressively take over a site or a location on a map. They are perfect during force buys or half buys, and either holding tight angles or actively wide swinging an angle, they are perfect in those close to maybe mid-range engagements. And the best thing you can do with an SMG is try to close that distance as best as possible. Don't go for the long range engagements. And you know what's also relatively the same, and that's the shotguns. Just like the SMGs, the shotguns are amazing at close range. Especially the XM feels like shotguns on steroids. You can run around, jump around and get those easy kills. And now combine that with a $900 kill reward, except the XM, which is at $600. You can really make some money and fill up your bank account for the next round. But obviously they have some cons, and that is they're useless at mid to long range engagements. Yes, the XM still works on mid range, maybe even long range sometimes. However, in general, they aren't really the best idea to use on long range to mid range engagements. And that is why if you're not holding close close range angles, these guns are not going to be very effective, and due to their limited magazine size and slow fire rate, sometimes if you miss the second shot, you know you're going to be dead. But overall, as I said, holding close range angles and getting the enemy to push into you is an amazing choice, or you can wide swing angles if you know that the enemy is up close. The thing that you have to keep in mind is stay away from those long range engagements and also maybe the mid range if you're not using an XM. And now let us move on to the rifles, the primary guns, the M4s and the AKs. And overall they have excellent accuracy and versatility. They can one shot, while the AK, the M4s do 98 damage, but overall they have high armor penetration and damage, and they are the core weapons that everyone uses in mid to late rounds. So learning how to use them is essential to becoming better. And the cons obviously are they have a high ceiling for the recoil control learning, and they're very expensive, meaning if you don't manage your money correctly, you won't see an M4 or an AK for a couple of rounds, which will cost you the game. And for the rifles, it is very important to learn how to use them, how to spray, how to tap, and in general aim for the head. Understand what the enemy's economy is currently like, so you can use the gun's advantage, which is accuracy, damage, and armor penetration, to your advantage. And please, for the love of God, don't run and gun with your assault rifles. Now let us move on to the gun that made Counter-Strike, and that is the sniper rifle. Obviously everyone knows about the AWP, but the SG and the semi-automatic sniper rifles are always a menace in game. But overall they have an instant kill potential that goes for the AWP for basically hitting everything above the legs, and for the scout it's the headshot, and for the auto snipers that is basically the same. But overall the snipers are a game changer when it comes to getting map control and instantly killing an enemy on long range. Star players like Monacy and Simple just show you how effective the AWP is. However, it comes at a great cost, and that is almost $5,000. And obviously it is very poor at close range engagements, and obviously the low fire rate is very punishing, especially if you miss your first shot. And the best way to use an AWP is to create space for your team, hold off angles, get that kill, fall back, reposition to the next angle, shoot again, and repeat. An AWP can be a nuisance for everyone on the enemy team, so always staying mobile is the best choice. And never let the enemy close the distance to you, because you will then lose the gunfight. And now let us move on to lesser used categories, and the first one would be the machine guns. The Negev and the M249 are very special. Obviously the pros are they have a high magazine, they are great for suppression or walling off areas by just spraying constantly a laser beam, and they're good for chaos overall since the enemy sometimes doesn't know how to fight them. And the biggest con especially is that they're heavy and you're therefore very slow when it comes to your movement, and try retaking a site while you're moving at a snail's pace. And overall the M249 with the extremely high price is generally just a shit option, because there are way better things that you can buy for that amount of money, and that is why they're basically always used to just troll around. And if you really want to use them, the best way, stay away, don't buy the M249 and just stick with the Negev. It's a laser beam, and therefore just like the AWP, you can hold off specific angle. And once the ammo has run out, you can then fall back, reload, and start spraying all over again. And now the good old knife. With the knife out, your movement speed is going to be the fastest. You can instantly kill someone if you kill them from behind, and they have a super high cash reward of $1,500. And on top of that, you can humiliate the enemy. And obviously the cons are only viable if you're extremely close range or are somehow able to go behind the enemy lines and knife someone from the back, or if you're lucky an enemy doesn't check the corner and you can therefore knife him. Surprise and stealth are going to be your friend here. And if you get that kill, don't forget to spam chat. And basically the same rules apply for the Zeus, except it at least has a bit more range than the knife. And on top of that, it also feels like it has double the humiliation factor. Unlike the knife, you can instantly kill someone also from the front. It is dirt cheap, and it's the weapon to humiliate your opponents. And just like the knife, the Zeus requires precise positioning, and the surprise factor, it is extremely limited to range and basically has only one shot per round, since most likely after you've shot your first shot, you're either dead or you're switching to something else. And just like the knife, I would also again suggest you to use the same gameplay styles. Also use flashes and utility to your advantage to really close the gap to your enemy. And now for the last thing, that is your utilities. The HE is for damage, the flash is to blind, the smoke is to block vision, the molotov and incendiary are ideal to deny area and clear areas and do damage over time. And the decoy, besides being a meme weapon, can sometimes help you to distract the enemy for just a couple of seconds. But overall, the pros of utilities are they're crucial for strategy and map control. They enable executes, retakes, and site holds, and with proper utility you can destroy either defenders or attackers. And obviously the cons are the costs add up quickly, especially on CT side, and they're ineffective if thrown poorly and require team coordination for max efficiency. Well guys, this was a complete list of the pros and cons of each category in CS. Obviously I didn't go into detail with some stuff because it would really, well, explode the range of what this video's purpose is, to give you a general look. So if you're interested to see how to use each gun in detail, check out my weapon tutorial series that I'm currently doing. And as always guys, don't forget to check out the sponsor of today's video. You'd be really helping me out, and check out the giveaway here and on Discord. Everything is down below. And as always guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. You would help me out a lot, and I will see you guys on the next one.